instruction manual for Super Mario Brothers 2. Hello. Thank you for calling Mr. Girl Hotline. How can I help you?
Hey, Mr. Girl. Hope you're doing well. My question is going to be related to Holly, the you had a feminist scholar on, I don't know, a month back. I loved
Yeah.
that stream, by the way. It was like maybe
Well,
some of my favorite content you've
then you'll
done.
be happy to know we are going to do a follow-up stream.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear it. I'm surprised how much I loved it. I think base level, I think a lot of like feminist theory and stuff goes a little too deep. That's not what I'm looking to talk about.
Okay.
Towards the end of the stream, I think I don't want to call you distraught, but I don't know what it was. The stream broke down a little bit, I think. Maybe even said that it bothered you, some of the things she was saying.
Her
So
separatist thought experiment really
yes,
disturbed me. Yeah.
yes. So that's what I wanted to ask you about. I thought personally, and I'm doing my best to avoid quick statements here. I promise I'm not coming at you from a place of hostility, but I I thought she came across as generally pretty reasonable, or like very reasonable even, and in lacking of malice in general, towards men, which is maybe some of my has it like which is kind of where some of my fears of like super hardcore feminist people or types comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And even that question and the way she presented it, it seemed to me like it was purely a hypothetical, and a more of a thought experiment. And it bothered me a little bit that you weren't able or willing to engage, related to it, because I think a lot of the content that you put forward is like inherently pretty incendiary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it requires us to look more at like the message and actually think about these topics that a lot of people like don't actually think about. And this, to me, this is like one place that I think like if you were, I don't know, like either just willing to engage on it or think about it a little bit more. I don't think what she was saying was too crazy. I think the idea, don't get me wrong, I think the idea is crazy, but where she was coming from was, if men and women aren't, we're in a separatist society, women simply wouldn't have X issues because it would be impossible. And that seems like a very base level assertion to me. So my question is, what do you think about that? And um, have you? I think she said that she was going to be mailing you a book. Did she do that? Are you going to read it? I know she
She
said
did
she's
it.
coming back on.
She
So
mailed it to me. I'm going to read it. We're going to talk again.
cool.
Okay. You want me to say what I think of what you just said?
Yes.
A few things. Um, I think whether something is incendiary and whether it is reasonable are different. Uh, like saying women shouldn't be able to be police officers. I was arguing about this with somebody. That's a reasonable thing to say, but it's also incendiary and to my mind wrong. But it's reasonable. I don't think I said that what she said isn't reasonable. I think I said that it upset me. Um, and I don't think that me saying I'm upset by something is a statement that was unreasonable for the person to say it. Or I'm not even saying it's reasonable for me to be upset. Being upset isn't really reasonable. Period. It's not based in like reason. It's just my reaction to it. I had a really strong negative reaction.
Do you
Um,
still?
yeah, I do.
Do you think it was coming from a place from her? Um, and make me correct myself if this is a quick statement. Do you think this is coming? What was that bad?
It sounds like it's gonna be bad, but I'm ready. Just
No,
I don't want
I'm
to
actually
I don't
asking.
want to derail the conversation. Just flow freely. Just what?
Okay. Do you? I don't think you actually think, or I hope you don't think that she actually wants a separatist society. Do you think she does?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I think that maybe clarifies a little bit for me, like that you being upset was just the idea of the thing her, rather
No.
than at her.
I was upset at her because of what she said. Okay, if I was on a date, I'm on a first date, and I'm like, I carry a gun. And it's just so weird sitting here thinking that I could just like shoot you in front of all these people and like you would just be gone forever. Like, do you believe in heaven? I don't believe in heaven. So you could just you would just be gone, like you wouldn't exist anymore. Isn't that weird? That like if I had like a weird seizure and like sneezed, I could just like shoot you without even realizing it. And then the person's like, "Hey, you're making me uncomfortable," and I'm like, "Whoa." I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm just saying, isn't it weird to talk about how that could happen right now? You're being so unreasonable getting upset right now.
I think what you just
Even if
said
you,
is, oh, go ahead.
even if you don't think I'm genuinely threatening to harm you, you could see how the person on the first date would be like, well, this is still upsetting.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think the difference is that a first date is a kind of an intimate setting where you're
That's not the
not you,
different. No, stop it. I wait.
wait,
Oh
can I,
no.
I no wait,
Oh
wait, wait,
God,
I need to
please
continue.
don't. Please don't. I don't
I
want
feel
to
like
do
I'm being
this.
fair.
I don't. You're not being fair. I know you think you are, but I don't think you are. I think that
Okay, well, we
I
disagree.
think the
Can
specific.
I say it
I
and then
think
you
the
can decline to
specific.
answer?
I don't want you to. I want to talk for a little bit, and then I.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I think that you're not engaging with the purpose of the analogy, which is to say that just because someone does not actually intend to do something or want to do something, in the analogy, shoot somebody, or have a separate society, simply the act of musing about something out loud is something that I think can trigger emotional responses in all kinds of people.
No,
Like we could somebody could be talking to me and say like, wouldn't it be weird if we had a society where like Max had to give everyone on Earth a blowjob every day? I wouldn't think like, oh, are you really gonna do that? Is this like is this really happening? I would think, oh, it's weird that you're bringing this up and it's making me uncomfortable that you said that. It's the musing itself. And I just don't believe or accept that you don't understand that I could have an emotional reaction to her musing aloud about what if we had a society where all the men left or all the women left. Like, do you actually not understand?
I,
Like, you
wait,
you must understand that that could cause an emotional reaction in me without you needing to ask these clarifying questions of like, well, wait a second, do you actually think she's planning on doing this, or do you think she really wants that?
I
She
think
said
you've
she didn't want it
misunderstood
at the
me
time.
entirely.
She said she didn't want it at the time. So why are you asking me that? We
Yes.
established in the conversation that she didn't want that. So if you're asking me to respond to you having a bad reaction or when thinking negatively about me having bad feelings about it, then can I just fucking explain why I felt that way instead of you asking all these weird questions trying to probe stuff that you already know isn't happening that might be causing me to have that reaction? That doesn't make any sense. That's the weird line of questioning if you already know the answer.
I don't think
Oh
I
God.
think my question's been misinterpreted.
Okay.
My in number one, these are my two differences, and
Your
I'm
question was,
sorry.
what do you think? And I have not been able to get through what I think.
What do you think about what I stated
Yeah, that's what I'm
leading up to
trying
it?
to. That's what I'm trying to respond to, and you won't
Okay.
stop
Wait,
talking.
I feel like I gave you a
For
lot
the
of time just
love of
there.
God, no, you haven't. You haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing I think is that you are conflating feeling upset about something and thinking it is reasonable to be upset about something. I'm afraid of spiders, even spiders that I know can't hurt me. I would still express this fear on a live stream. If you saw a spider crawling up my arm, I would go, eh. I'm afraid of spiders, even though it is not reasonable. My recoiling in disgust is not a statement that I think it is intellectually sound to be upset by this. Secondly, you've compared her incendiary statements to my incendiary statements. One thing that I think people got really upset about with the Cuties review is that they thought that I didn't know I was making an incendiary statement. The thing that was relieving about the I'm a pedophile music video is that it's clear that I know I'm making an incendiary statement and that I already knew I was making an incendiary statement. It kind of corrected the record of like, no, I know that what I'm saying is freaking you out and I know why it's freaking you out. And that, she didn't have that. She was the way people thought I was in the Cuties review, where she's like, no, it's just a thought experiment about separating the men and the women. What? Huh? What do you mean? What's the problem with having this thought experiment? I don't understand. That was made it additionally triggering. If she had said like, I know this is a fucking horrific thing to say, but for shits and giggles, I'd probably have a much more muted response. But this feeling of like, oh, you're saying something like really awful and horrifying, and you seem to not understand that it would be awful and horrifying. And the fact that you don't understand that plays into what I think you think about men and wraps back into you're imagining a society without men, but in your imagination, men are people who aren't hurt by you bringing this up to them. So there's just like total lack of understanding of how men can feel and will feel about you saying things like that. That like all of this at once was super triggering for me. What do you think about that?
So I think, I think Holly did know she was what was being said was incendiary, but I think you have just convinced me a little bit to maybe pull back from that. I don't know, because what you said is a good point. I mean, maybe that needs to be explicitly stated. Like, obviously, this is an insane take, and
I thought that her reaction to me being upset was like, oh, I upset you. Whereas like if I was talking to a
it was.
if I was talking to a black man and I said, what if we just put all black people somewhere else and then saw what happened? And they got upset about it. I wouldn't be like, oh, did, oh, oh my, did I say something that offended you? Oh, well, what if just, okay, let's reverse it. What if all white people just like left all the cities and all the black people stayed there? Would that, oh, that upset you too? Wow. Like it just feels, it didn't feel like there, like, I don't think she needs to put a fucking like sign on it saying I'm making an incendiary statement, but it just felt like in the delivery, even after I got upset, I still don't think that she came away from that conversation thinking like, oh, that's an incendiary statement that people might get really upset about. I think she came away from it thinking like, Max had a rough childhood. Got it.
Can you ask her in your conversation, or am I overstepping? Or maybe it won't be productive.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think she tried to pull it back a little.
Yeah.
But I think so. You gave the example of like on a date. I think the way that specifically like academic people talk about these topics is like slightly less emotional, maybe, and or just intentionally void of motion and theoretical. And that maybe that was my assumption going into it. So I hope she doesn't actually, or I hope she knows that that's a crazy thought. Because it would blow up everything if it didn't.
Yeah.
Really, I was coming at it more from a place where like my assumption was she knew that it's a crazy thought experiment, but still worth discussing in that moment. Similar to, I found it very much like her position in that moment was like what you were in the past. And so I don't know. I just wanted to discuss it, but I think maybe I've rethought it slightly, or at least my thoughts are significantly less firm on what her position is.
Yeah, I think I just don't want you to think that if I make a statement about my feelings that I'm making an objective, like, oh, you said something upsetting objectively. Although I do think, separately from that, I do kind of think it's objectively upsetting. But also that doesn't mean it's reasonable. I'm not saying it's unreasonable to say or unreasonable to think. I'm not trying to combine all those into one thing. A certain content creators will try to make it sound like their emotional reactions to things are correct and right if they're having them. Actually feels like most content, maybe most content creators in this like arena that I find myself in.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear that that's not what I'm trying to say.
No, I know, and I'm on the same page with you. I mean, obviously the idea itself is so insane, like it's beyond upsetting. It's like it's but you know, in a academic conversation, I think it's one that's worth engaging with. Was more where I was coming from. So, but I appreciate it. I think I
Okay, yeah,
understand
I
your
don't think
position much more.
I don't think she shouldn't have said it. That's not. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that.
Gotcha. Cool. I think that's all for me from Holly. I can come up with something else if you want. I
No.
do have another question, but let's let
What?
somebody else in.
Okay, 30 seconds. What?
No, no, no. It's okay. I'll let somebody else in.
Lightning round. Okay, fine.
Alrighty. Thanks, man.
Thank you.